antecedents. What you have done in Lagos. But you see, what you did in Lagos, you mobilized Lagosians to fix Lagos, which is to be expected. What is more natural than that? However, you cannot mobilize Lagosians to fix Nigeria. You will have to mobilize Nigerians to fix Nigeria. You cannot form a core of a team, okay, that is basically a Lagosian-based to fix Nigeria. It does not, it is mathematically incongruous. It's an incongruity. It is expected that you will mobilize a team of Lagosians to fix Lagos. But then, to that same extent, you will just have to mobilize a team of Nigerians to fix Nigeria. You see these Lagosians you brought with you to Abuja to fix Nigeria. I mean, with respect, they are useless. Useless. Starting with that your chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, the most useless amongst them. You will have to dismantle this team. With respect, my president, you will have to dismantle it and rebuild a true, genuine Nigerian core. It's not just a team in terms of appointment, this minister. No. Your core team must no longer be a Lagosian team. It must be a Nigerian team. Otherwise, we will just continue like this. Most of them are just interested in making money. They don't love you. They're not interested in your welfare, your political welfare. They're not interested in Nigeria, moving Nigeria forward. These guys have been parasiting you for decades.
Okay, guys, welcome back to my channel. This is our Let's Hour broadcast. It has been a while. I've not been online this hour for some time now. Okay, and we managed to be here this hour because I was not able to finish the topic that I was doing when I had a call earlier this afternoon. Then I said to come, to go and come back this hour to complete all we need to talk about and touch. So this hour, I am not going to waste much time because it's quite a late hour. Depending on where you are, to be honest with you. But be it as it may, let's see how far we can go on this one. Please like the video as we join in. This is a live broadcast. But it's a late hour broadcast. Biafra, I see your comment. Thank you so much. You are the first person that made a comment so far. We are just 3 minutes in the program and you have some people watching. Please like the video, like I said. So I'm not going to say much about what he said. The only thing I want to say is that this man they called Femi Gbajabiamila, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He has this kind of hatred about Igbo people, and there was a time, I think, a video that a Yoruba person made about him diverting the allocation given to schools in Anambra to Lagos. So he has this kind of manipulative mechanism against other regions, especially what I mean by other region. I'm talking about the Igbo Biafran region, and this same Femi Gbajabiamila is now with Tinubu as well. Now, the issue about, like what he said, Tinubu mobilizing locations to hoping that he's going to fix Nigeria, is not that is a sin. You understand? He actually trying to do what Buhari have done. Buhari did the same thing. And to him, he find out that Buhari did it and it was successful for him. Buhari regime, a lot went wrong. And people who supposed to talk were busy covering him up just to have their own personal gain. As long as some quote is coming to them, they're okay with it. Chris M, I see you, my brother. Nice to have you. Say good morning, boss. Thank you so much for your time. Good morning to you, my brother. Nice to have you. Thank you so much, and God bless you. So we cannot pretend that we did not see what Buhari did his own. Tinubu is trying to do the same thing. They all know that everything It's not as if Tinubu love Nigeria so much and the cabinet make all his cabinet hate, like he said that they're interested in money. None of them are interested in money, in making money to compete the president himself. He is the one that actually needs to make money more than anything. Do you understand? Diana, nice to have you. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Please like the video. So I don't think Tinubu cabinet seems to be, maybe they are different from uh, from him, Tinubu himself. No, Tinubu knows a lot about Buhari, whether he's when he they change him, like some of us that believe that he's no more, that he's dead. Tinubu know all those things. You think that Northerners will just, okay, because of agreement we had, let's just go. No, something very, very secret, very, very, personal about the Northerners and Buhari that Tinubu knows in and out. And he gave them his words. He covered them up all for 8 good years. Like the video that we made before, somebody made it clear that most of the cabinet members, most of the ministers that Buhari, appoint and use in his regime was being chosen or selected by Tinubu. Tinubu have a lot of influence in Buhari's government. That one is a fact. But we are not going to go through that now because the man in question, the owner of the government, his regime, he was not able to finish it, even though they pretend that he's still here. I asked a question: if Buhari is still here, why is it that no journalists have interviewed him to know? Upon all these things that are going on, the president before him, Jonathan, is talking. The president before Jonathan, Obasanjo, is speaking. But the recent one that just leave office is nowhere to be found, not even a comment. And we saw protesters in his family house in Daura, destroying it and doing one or two things and no comment, nothing whatsoever. Even the top medias in Nigeria know this as a fact, but they don't want to. To them, announcing it is validating Mazdamode Kano, and it may trigger, maybe some people will use that as an excuse to air their own anger and view about the whole thing. So Dada, I see you. Dada say, oh, hey, Biafra, thank you so much. So now listening to this Igbo man, Dr. Sam Amade, wasting his energy. I call it this is a wasted effort. Let's just hear him. I'm not supposed to play this video, but why I'm playing it is for you to see why we need to, shout to call these our brothers to order, because most of them they are losing their mind in the name of facing Nigeria doing this. They know what you are saying is right, but what you are saying doesn't matter to them because they have a different agenda. Even Gandola is clapping.
My brother, the advocate for the great paper. Noni saying was brilliant. There are so many brilliant people, but there are few sincere and honest people. So I respect and commend you for the truth. Brilliance is cheap, but honesty is expensive. Thank you very much. Let me say this very clear, and I'm going to respond to 3 key points. First, in every country, elections are one of strategy. So in the US today, you see policy people, strategists thinking around.
He started with a volume very okay. Suddenly the volume is now, diminishing.
Messaging.
Disappearing, I don't know why. All of a sudden the volume was okay just now. Is it from the video? I guess it should be from the video because I don't see anything wrong with all the options, all the button, everything is okay. So why is the volume, why his voice seems to be very dim?
Thinking around, mapping constituencies.
Please, can you confirm his voice, if his voice is audible enough for you? Can you hear what he's saying?
In Nigeria as well, election is one of strategy. And the strategy of election idea is very simple. Bribe INEC, bribe judiciary, commandeer.
Okay, thank you.
And they are done. The people that destroyed 23 election is INEC and judiciary. The rules were clear. Sir, the Electoral Act is not perfect, but it was very clear.
Okay, that thing, if you say that the volume is not good enough. Okay, let me flip the camera, but I just want you to hear what he's saying. Let me say it's good, and that thing, if you says somebody else should judge this matter. Both of you are saying different thing. That in finance said not good voice, and Emmy said it's good. So I guess I don't know. Can another person comment about it? Okay, let me flip the camera. Hold on.
Let me say this very clear, and I'm going to respond to three key points. First, in every country, elections are one of strategy. So in the US today, you see policy people, strategists thinking around, messaging, thinking around, mapping constituencies. In Nigeria as well, election is one of strategy. And the strategy of election in Nigeria is very simple. Bribe INEC, bribe judiciary, commandeer the security, and they are done. The people that destroyed 2023 election is INEC and judiciary. The rules were clear. Sir, the Electoral Act is not perfect, but it was very clear. I'm surprised that any judge who understands administrative law, which I have taught in the university for years, which I studied under the best in the world, would argue that an internal regulation built on a law, an act, a regulation, directing that you will do X, you can choose to do Y, when there is legitimate expectation and detrimental reliance. And it was totally wrong, and the courts, Supreme Court downwards, got it wrong. When an agency created under the law with an 11 act and a constitution that says you can make rules, makes rules, those rules are law. They can unmake it through rule-making process. If they don't, they are bound to obey it. The results should have been transmitted electronically. I'm ashamed. I have a PhD in law and I can stand anywhere in the world to disprove the best and brightest. I was ashamed that the court affirmed that I can just walk away from the law. 5 years I was a regulator of electricity. When we make tariff, it's the same way INEC makes rules. We make those laws, tariffs. They are legal instruments. They are binding law. I hold INEC responsible, and I hold the courts responsible.
What he's saying now is just to kind of telling the whole world and Nigerians that the election was rigged. And he's saying that boldly. Do you know why we don't have, huge number of people criticizing and trying to call him out and calling for his head? Because of the hunger, the reality is not hitting them the way it should be. I'm not in support of election or anything about it, but reason why, as an Igbo person, why you need to allow the dead to bury themselves is because no matter what you suggest, no matter what you do, the same thing make a name. So you don't have any better way to advise them to do to do the right thing. The agenda is very, very clear. One, make sure that Igbo man will not be president of the country. Two, make sure that they always remain the highest level they can get is to be third-class citizens, no matter what. It is better that the family dogs will be the president than a brilliant person claim or called Igbo person. That is the rule. So what Amadi is saying here is well known to everybody, even them themselves know. The reason why I wanted to play this video and flip the camera for you to see the facial, the body language of the listeners and even the Amadi himself. And you cannot advise somebody that, I know, for example, we all know that bearing child when you are out of marriage, like out of wedlock, you have not married, maybe as a teenager, not a mature person. When you are a boy of 15 years or 16 or 17 years that are still in school, and the child impregnates a girl, it is abnormal, right? It is not, but the same pregnancy that we all rejoice when somebody that is mature enough, have it, is become a problem when somebody who is not ready have it. The boy knows that this thing is wrong, but they choose to do it, maybe by mistake. It's not as if they are not aware. They are aware, but it has happened. It has happened. Everybody in Nigeria is aware that what Amadi said here is true. He started by telling you that the easiest way to win election in Nigeria is to bribe the INEC, bribe the Judicial, and mobilize some thugs. Then you are good to go. All of them have the same tendency. Even in the governorship election, the same thing. A man who is 70, 60 years, going to 80 years, will just put on his wig and sit down in the name of the just judge and nullify everything that everybody knows that is right thing to do. And he destroyed it in a twinkling of an eye with just pen and paper that chief judge has spoken. And the security who will be a victim of all these decisions will be backing them up. That is wrong. That is very, very wrong. So if you are a Biafran and somehow you are, I listen, sometimes I read a post from Charlie Boy. Yeah, Charlie Boy, the one that is going to 80. I'm thinking he's not 70-something years. Going to 80. But if you see him, he have a very good body structure. But age is not wisdom. Age is not wisdom. He still believes that Nigerians should be this and be that. Maybe he's trying to pay back the enjoyment that the family drive as a father, because the father happened to be one of the, I've served as the chief judge of the federation, if I'm not mistaken, but I know his father was one of the well-known judge, okay, in Nigerian judicial system. All those things may be the reason why he wants to maintain that steps, so that his father's profile will not be rubbished, because the country that his father served will be no more. This could be the reason. Just like Kanwako today, after playing for Nigeria national team, and you played for Nigeria. So anyway, the discussion about the destruction of Nigeria and making sure that Nigeria has come to an end, they don't like it, because the medal that pictured everything they have received in Nigeria will somehow be meaningless when Nigeria is no more. So these are selfish reasons that made some of our brothers to ignore the reality. You forgot that the medal that you won, your children may not have the opportunity to win such medal. And what become your children? The money that you make from that, nobody's going to take it away from you. But you just want to maintain the name because you don't want it to affect your profile and certificate. All of them have different reasons why they don't support Biafra. But one thing is very, 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 very clear. Everybody have come to understand, everyone is in agreement that it's not working. What is the solution? They will tell you, let us manage it and hope that, okay, tell us what gives you this hope that you are trying to hang on. The hope that you are claiming that you want to hold on, what is giving you the strength? What is giving you what is your assurance that this hope will yield good fruit in future? Nothing. But you just want to yield on that. You just want to have hope. So, like, I'm not going to play Amadi's speech to the end. I just want you to see how eloquent he is sounding, everything about what he's saying. It seems to be good, but will they change it? You cannot advise somebody who already know the answer but choose not to do it. Your advice is meaningless. In fact, when you are trying to advise them, they have many excuses, better ways to use to put this your statement that you are struggling with in to put it very, very well. But they don't want it, because to them it's all about, let us, what I can gain now and what I will enjoy after now. Nothing more. This man that I normally bring it, I normally read his post, Malcolm. This is a Robo man. He says something again. Look at the one I'm talking about. I will read this for you. He talked about Nzogo. Okay, he talked about Nzogo. This is Chukwumakadina Nzogo, a well-known, one of the finest of them all, which they tried, because of him, they acquired a lot of Igbos, and his community today is telling you that they are not Igbo, they are the Delta. But our people were massacred because of his decision. Not only his decision, the decision that he stands as a leader of that group that comprises of every other people from a Nigerian ethnic group. I know that. But today, Igbos are still suffering from that. But when you go to his Chukwumakadina Zogo's village, they will tell you that they are not Igbo. Everybody wants to use Igbo to shine. If Major Patrick Chukwumakadina Nzogo, okay, revolutions of 1966 succeeded, okay, Nigeria would have been a better place today. His number one enemy was the corrupt politicians who are sent compared to our today's politicians. Exactly, which is, I love that. I am not calling for the return to military rule, because the Nigerian military today is full of politicians. Yes, yeah. That is why, now listen, that is why I believe what Master Kano said, that Nigerians have been mapped for destruction. Nigeria have been mapped for this. Now, Nigeria have been mapped out for this. It's just like these things have been assigned that it must be. Every little hope that really want it to work should have laid on. I mean, you have at least some hope. Do you know that if Nigeria, what this man said now, simply means that if Nigeria decide to move from civilian regime to military regime, it is as useless as anything. Because in the military, you have a lot of Boko Haram now. No. Something that Nigerian military don't used to have that kind of thing. But now, no hope. Civilian cannot help you, military cannot help. In fact, military will be worst. Which is one of the reasons why I even prefer military, because it will enhance the freedom of Biafrans. But it will endanger many of them that claim they want Nigeria to stand and they want one unified entity and all that. Something that there's no hope for you. In 1990s, in 80s, in 70s, one can say military regime may serve good. Like you see, Northerners calling for Russia to help them, just like they did in Niger. Niger military is not the same with the one you have in Nigeria. Nigeria is trying to incubate terrorism with the name of military, which is very, very wrong, because all the Boko Haram members, they say they have integrate them in military. The question is how long, what did you do to integrate them to the military? So if you put military regime now, it simply means that Boko Haram is now ruling the country. So you just wake up one day and you hear that everything is upside down, like in Yemen, like in Afghanistan. So it is very, very risky to do. And this is just to prove again that what I said, when you protest, is a win-win for Biafra. When you don't protest, it is a win-win for Biafra, because it has been mapped out for destruction. And the good thing is that nobody is destroying them, but then they are the ones destroying themselves. You are using your hands to poison yourself. So who are you going to blame? Who will be It's very, very funny, honestly. I feel that people, when I watch some people listening to, trying to tell you that you are not, that Biafran, some of them don't even know what Biafran are trying to do, what they're fighting for. They believe that everything will be good. Let's wait for 20, let us wait on 2027. Ah, my goodness. So this we are now in 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027. You still have a very long way to go. Very long way to go.
The Biafra government. Nobody listens. Today, why Nigeria are killing Nigerians who believe in Nigeria, protesting, they are killing them. It is only Biafrans that have not fallen victim. For the wisdom of the government of Biafra, that the only thing we know is to protect the life of our people, we go to any extent to do that. And today, the political criminals are speaking. They like good things. But inside themselves, they know it is possible only by the Biafra government. Nobody listens to them. If we have called for protest, Ali will be burned. I am telling you, everywhere we want. But we said, we know Nigeria is not our concern. And because of this, the next 1 month, the 1 month lockdown of the government institution is going to be immediately as they are finishing this protest, because we don't want, a lot of people are saying, oh, now the securities are there, they have been overwhelmed, let us come out and do our lockdown. No. We are not scared of security overwhelming. We have defeated them. You don't know the war that is going on in Biafra land. Only us know. You know how many thousands has fallen? You know how many people that have brought to Imo, only Imo State. You know how many thousands of terrorists are falling in Imo State alone for the past 2 years. So our next lockdown of Nigeria institution in Biafra land will happen after this their protest, because we don't want our focus to be on the protest. So when we start, focus will be on Biafra. When we start, everything in Nigeria will be on Biafra. Focus will be on Biafra. Let us bring all the military from Kaduna, from Nazara to Biafra land. The focus will be in Biafra. That's what we want. And we are not yet in November. We are not even yet in October. We will make Nigeria so reckless that before November, believe me, if you see anybody wearing Nigeria army uniform, there will be peeing in their pants in Biafra land.
That is what of PM, and the 1 month, the 1 month lockdown is loading with heavy agreement. If you know, you know. Okay, if you know, you know. And we are going to touch what this man said. Let me bring his post. You know, I promised that we are going to touch it. Yeah, that is a post from this Northern president, not one of the senators from the north. They call this Senator Sheikh Husani. Sheikh Husani said something that I don't know if it's intentional or he made it as a mistake, because he cannot just, this is self-sabotage. No matter how you try to no matter how you're trying to integrate and belong to another country other than your own, someday you will be reminded that you are a foreigner. The rise of the fair rights movement in Europe and America and the xenophobia in South Africa are cases in point. What happened to Chidinma in South is unfortunate. To be honest with you, I cannot claim what I don't know. I don't know what happened to Chidinma that he's talking about, But what made me to bring this post, it's a very, very short post. What made me to bring this post is, what the first line, the first sentence here: no matter how you try to integrate and belong to another country, belong to another country other than your own, someday you will be reminded that you are a foreigner. Full stop. This post should be, shared to many, many, many Igbo people, especially though I don't know, when God wants to speak, He can use anybody, even your enemy, to advise you. No matter how you try to integrate and belong to another country that is not your own, one day, but our own is not one day. Every second, every moment of the day, you are being reminded that you are not here, you are a foreigner. And what can Igbo people learn from this? No. The intention of this man when he was making this post is not about Igbo people, but I am not telling you that what he said here, it should be a concern to every Biafran, whether you are Igbo or not Igbo speaking Biafran. This should be a concern to you. No matter how you try to integrate yourself, no matter how you try to become more Nigerian than Nigerians, no matter how you think you know how to fix Nigeria, no matter what you do, they will keep on reminding you that you are a foreigner. Now let's check the comments of other people here. I don't want to read this one. Make I give this here. Can you imagine? He said exactly, sir, the same way in the Igbo. So he's not your sir, because you know that he's part of people that are making money, making sure that money goes to you, the US daily. I am not surprised an Igbo has witnessed far worse than Chidinma in Lagos, Nigeria. It is apparent we are foreigners in our own country. We are foreigners in our own country too, hence we have no country. You can also say that, but we don't have any country. Instead of you to saying that you are. No, it is wrong. You are not part of it. Tommy said, I would rather be a slave in Canada. This is a Yoruba person making. I would rather be a slave in Canada than being in Nigeria. At least being a slave, yes, is even better than being a full citizen in Nigeria. As long as you don't know a powerful person, or you are not in politics or into criminality, then you are an endangered species. Ooh, only in Nigeria. Can you imagine that? Senator, you can put a price on peace of mind and security. Racism in Nigeria is worse than Europe. Whether it is against the law in Europe, but aura worshippers and thugs in Lagos will always tell you to go back to your village. Another person said, if families can tell their brothers and sisters that they don't belong there, how much more the far right is other countries? If you fair right is other countries. If you and your colleagues can fix Nigeria, do you think Nigerians will leave? I beg, leave that talk. He fix Nigeria. He still believes that this man have what it is, and his colleague have what it takes to fix Nigeria. They don't. They don't. Somebody who is addicted who addicted in smoking, who can stay one hour without smoking, is the one that you are calling to give you lecture on how to live a healthy life and how to maintain a healthy kidney and a healthy liver. How? Somebody who his job is to smoke is one that you are expecting to teach you how to maintain a healthy lifestyle, that's making sure that your kidney and liver is well protected. What is he going to teach you? I mean, if he's to teach you 1 hour, he will spend, if while the class is on, he will be smoking he will be taking break to take some smoke. So it's not possible. It's not possible. Senator, you have done well. You have done well by saying this thing that you said here. I love the way you put it, because people will not learn. Maybe they will not, but I believe they will see the handwriting on the wall. Okay? Today, a lot of funny things is happening in Nigeria. With this face we are seeing here is a face of Ndento, what is his name? People that call themselves bandits, ransom receivers. Listen, this person said something that's why I have to bring it. He said, Nigeria is finished. Bandit is doing live giveaway on TikTok, and people were busy sending their account number to him, but still DSS cannot see it either. Cannot see it. Their eyes are only on peaceful protesters and government criticizers. Now listen.
Wabarakatuhu mutanen zanga-zanga mun ji kuna yaba Muhammadu Bello Turji, to muna godiya Allah sa alheri mutanen zanga-zanga, mun gode Turji na kawo gaisuwa, ku turo ma akawo yana so ya maka wani abu. Wabarakatuhu mutanen
okay, wait, let me see if I can. Okay, now wait.
Mutanen zanga-zanga mun ji kuna yaba Muhammadu Bello Turji, to muna godiya
Okay, you can, if you pay attention here, you will see how people are sending their account number to him, because he's doing giveaway after receiving, kind of paying tithes from the money that they made from the people from the south. Listen. I continue your work now.
Ya Allah sa alheri mutanen zanga-zanga, mun gode Turji na kawo gaisuwa, ku turo ma akawo yana so ya maka wani abu. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuhu mutanen zanga-zanga mun ji kuna yaba Muhammadu Bello Turji, to muna godiya Allah sa alheri mutanen zanga-zanga, mun gode Turji na kawo gaisuwa, ku turo ma akawo yana so ya maka wani abu. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuhu mutanen zanga-zanga mun ji kuna yaba Muhammadu Bello Turji.
In the same country where they are busy looking for, calling for head of PM, they want PM to be repatriated. They want to do this. They want to do that. In the same country is where you have bandits doing giveaway, and people are busy sending their people are busy sending their account number. Oh my goodness. Nothing will Mr. No go see forget. Nothing. I don't understand the Hausa language, and some of you that can understand it, you may explain it to us. What is actually saying? What is it that he's saying? Because I don't understand anything that he's saying there. Armstrong, I see you, and Engineer Martins, listening to you. Or I believe you are still here, or maybe you have gone to sleep. Let's see. I don't know. Your time there should be evening. Okay, you even said good evening. Yeah, it should be evening, not later one, like some places. There is a video of Arthur, but I don't think we need it. He's negotiating, or he has secured a business deal in Venezuela. I think this is oil business. So that is a private issue. Let's talk about what concerns us and what we may need to know about Nigeria. So yesterday, as the army and everybody, they are focused in the what to do to Biafrans and how to launch this and launch that in Biafra. In Benue State, okay, Sarah reporter have this to say. Just yesterday, breaking bloodbaths in Benue State community. Herdsmen killed over 60 residents. Just can you imagine that? Over 60 residents in Benue State. So I'm not going to go through that. It's a very, very sad news. And this is just to prove to you that they know what they're doing and they want you they don't want to talk about it so that you know, so that you will not wake up. Keep on sleeping. One day you will wake up and you will not see anybody to complain to. On August 7th, 2024, Biafran government in Israel lobbies Elias Grossrose and met with Biafran government in Israel, Maryland administrators Joshua Onuku, Onuako. I think that's what I hope I pronounced this name well. Onuako during their strategy seasons. Many areas of collaboration between the government and Israel lobbying firm and the Biafran diaspora were discussed. The government in Israel lobbying firm is working closely with Biafran government in Israel supporters in the United States. That's a good news, very, very good news. And I love this this man. So far, so good. Long may it continue because you are somehow transparent. So this man also have something that I want to share with us. I'm trying to rush some of those things. This just to confirm what we have been discussing in terms of the situation of Igbo people in Nigeria and situation of Biafran. Some of our brothers who refuse to accept the reality. So let's go through this before we end the program because I don't want to spend much time. This is a late hour. We need to sleep. Tomorrow is a fun. So you are not in a Saturday morning. Today is a fundraising. Chuku Okikabdama, bless you all the good Yorubas. So this man is a Yoruba man. I thought he's from South. Is he a Yoruba man? Can somebody confirm this? Is this man a Yoruba man or from some? I thought he's from maybe Europe or something like that. Anyway, let's hear what he said.
Different nationalities, you will suffer their own country. People traumatize me, attack me, abuse me. Usually, I don't care. I didn't answer any of those questions. But let me ask you a question. The Igbo man will be the last man to suffer the consequences of economic action. If the price of dollar goes very high, he will import things. He will transfer the cost to you who is buying from him. He will transfer the cost. If the cost of diesel goes up, you go to buy things from Unewe, from Onitsha that he produces. He will transfer the cost to you. He's running businesses all over the country. He will transfer the cost to you. Most of those of you who are religionists, regionalists, tribalists, partisan, what will I call it, partisan Mongols, you don't have anything in your economy in terms of tribe. You don't have anything. Most of the economy of Lagos is owned by outsiders. The economy in several states outside the eastern states is owned by different tribes, different nationalities. You will suffer. You've made the wrong choice. Bear the pain. Don't go into the streets. These men will come after you. After some time. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say anything. Because all the ones Kokori did, he died in the hospital in Nigeria. No person carried him overseas. I'm not going to fight the fight of the poor man. No. He is his greatest enemy. And so, next time you have the chance to choose rightly. Poverty has no religion. Poverty has no tribe. Poverty has no region. In fact, the poorest regions support corruption most in this country. You see your shame? Somebody, they forged his signature, you didn't even know. You see your shame? Okay, continue. On this mandate, we shall stand. He who laughs last, laughs best. I just laugh now. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. Whether I'm your friend or not, I don't care. I am my own friend. God bless you.
So, and the message is very clear. Even though some people may, some may say that he's harsh, but we saw some activities of Biafra government in Israel and Nigerian army in Biafran land. And the reason why some of you may be expecting me to talk about it, but why I'm not talking more about it is because even if you talk about it, you will still not paying attention. You still doubt. You still feel that it's a propaganda. But people that are sending their men there, they know the outcome. The 3 terrorists that are hiding in Lieutenant Hotel, are you people not entering Finland again, or are you guys non-tourists? PM is talking about people they send to gang and commit crime. Some people, I don't even know what made them feel that it's best that they can do that.
Àti wá dọ̀lẹ́ a sì pín yín. Ìlú yìí ni mo ti rí pé gbogbo ohun tá a fẹ́ràn láyé nǹkan ọ̀fẹ́ ni. Ẹ bá rọ́mọdé yọmọ wẹ ẹni tí ó bùn lówó. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rọ́kùnrin ẹni tí ó bùn lówó. Àti wá dọ̀lẹ́ a sì pín yín. Irú bàbá báyìí, irú àwọn bàbá tí wọ́n ti wọ 70, 80, máa pàdé wọn ní UK, máa bí wọn ní supermarket, àwọn wọn mọ̀ gbowó, iṣẹ́ wọn nìyẹn, wọn ò sì gbọ́dọ̀ jókòó fún wákàtí 8. Ẹ̀yin tá a bá ní ẹ dìde ká gbàdúrà ìṣẹ́jú 5 kò ti jókòó.
Sorry, I don't understand what he's saying. I'm trying to understand what he's saying, but I can't comprehend that. Anyway, we have come to an end of this broadcast, all right, and we are going to come back again in the morning to do our morning broadcast. Hopefully, we are not going to have any delay on that. Thank you so much for your time, and make sure you like the video before you go. Sleep well, and see you again tomorrow. God bless you all, and please, if you're new, subscribe. All right, subscribe to our channel and share the message. Thank you, and see you again in the morning. Good night to you. Good morning. He is an Edoman. Okay, see, Edoman. Okay.
Kaduna State on Tuesday. On X, the army said they were called to restore peace in the area after the outbreak of hoodlums, but one of the men who they've now arrested and interrogating sadly fired a warning shot that claimed the life of the teenage boy. Well, let's see some lines of their post on X yesterday. It says that on the 6th of August 2024, troops of the Nigerian Army received a distress call that some hoodlums gathered in Samaru in large numbers, burning tires on the road and pelting stones on security personnel. The troops immediately mobilized and arrived at the scene to disperse the mob and enforce the curfew imposed by the state government. On arrival at the scene, the hoodlums brazenly attempted attacking the troops, prompting a soldier to fire a warning shot to scare the hoodlums away, which unfortunately led to the death of a 16-year-old boy, Ismail Muhammad. The soldier involved has since been arrested and undergoing interrogation at the time of this report. Now, the next picture is of the bereaved father. This picture was taken when top army officers visited him after killing his son. Well, it said that he was compensated with 300,000 naira. Although he agrees that he received that sum of money, he however adds that it was for him to buy pure water, as he was told, and not for the loss of his son.
Anyway, we are going to react on this video later. Okay, good night to you. Nigeria, you guys are very fun.